Welcome, FNUSA57 here. I'm back on my Xbox One, and today I will be bringing you yet another achievement guide. So this one is for the achievement Checkpoint Zulu in the map Alpha Omega, and what you have to do is survive the first 20 rounds without leaving the security checkpoint. It is a rare achievement worth 15 gamer score and currently has a 0.04% unlock rate. This is in Black Ops 4 Zombies, obviously, but this is one of the most annoying, if not the most annoying achievement associated with surviving 20 rounds in a particular spot on a particular map. Now, I'm going to do this solo, and I'm going to show you relatively the easiest way to do it with a few tips along the way. You can make this easier on yourself. I would recommend doing this with a team. You can attempt to do it with bots, but bots aren't exactly very reliable, so do keep that in mind. The first thing you want to do is load up, obviously, Zombies. Go into Classic, set the difficulty to Casual, and select the map Alpha Omega. Go ahead and load a solo match. Like I said, you can add bots. Simply just click the button to add the bots. It will make things easier in terms of killing the zombies. However, the bots can screw up the achievement for you. Same thing with random players. Random players can screw up the achievement for you as well. So that's why I said either do this solo or do this with a coordinated group. I would be doing it with a group, but none of my recording people are online. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and create a class. Now, there isn't a whole lot that you can do here, but there are a few things that will make it easier on you. First and foremost, as far as a special weapon, you want the Ragnarok DG5. Equipment, you want the Wraithfire grenades, and as far as a starting weapon, I would recommend the Strife pistol, especially if you have attachments for that pistol unlocked, which if you've been playing for a while, then you probably will have. As far as a talisman goes, you don't really have to use a talisman. You can if you want to, but there's not a lot of good talismans in the game. Pretty much for this particular thing, the best talismans would be like starting the match with an AR, increasing the shield durability, or greatly increasing the shield durability, or starting with one of the perks. So basically, increasing the shield durability and starting with a extra weapon are pretty much the only things that really benefit us. If you are going to start with a perk, make sure that you pick the best perk for what you're doing, and make sure that it is in the slot that it corresponds to the talisman. A really good perk for this, if you're going to do it that way, would be Dying Wish or possibly Stone Cold Stronghold. Other than that, the perks aren't really that helpful. Elixirs are going to be your best friend in this. So, as you can see, I have Temporal Gift equipped. Now, this is going to allow us to use power-ups for a greater length of time. I also have Equip Mint, which is going to allow us to refresh our equipment. That's going to be a huge help. Then I have a couple rare elixirs. Now, you might not have these. They're not essential. You can use all starting elixirs, but if you are working with a team or doing this completely solo, you're probably going to want to use some of the rare elixirs. So Shields Up is an excellent one to have because it does grant you a new shield. Pretty much anything that grants you insta-kills, like Killjoy, which I have, something that grants you a shield, anything that gives you basically a way out, if that makes sense. And you'll understand when I get into it a little bit further. So I do have some rare ones, I have some legendary ones, I have some epic ones, but the only real helpful ones are ones that either A, give you ammunition, or B, slow down zombies, drop a nuke, drop a max ammo, that type of thing. Give you a shield, something like that. Insta-kill, it's a toss-up on, because if you have Temporal Gift active and then you activate the insta-kill drop, it's going to void Temporal Gift. So it's really whatever you want. If you have Free Fire, I would recommend Free Fire over the insta-kill, but it's completely up to you. Undead Man Walking is very good if you want to go with the Talisman strategy where you bring in a perk, then running perk up would probably be best. And what you want to do if you're going to run perk up is you want to put your junk perks in your perk slots and then rely on perk up to give you hopefully good perks. Now the problem with that is the perks are, well, random. So very hit or miss on that one, and I don't really recommend it. For my particular playstyle, I'm going to go with shields up and insta-kills. Now, last but not least, once you have that set up, go into the armory. If you're just starting, you're not going to have a whole lot of attachments unlocked, but if you've been playing a while, you should have attachments unlocked. Just take a minute, make sure that all of the weapons that you have attachments unlocked for, those attachments are equipped. Same thing if you're using a talisman that allows you to start with a specific weapon, like I am. I'm going to be starting with an assault rifle, so when I look at my assault rifles, I want to make sure that I have certain attachments equipped for this. I want FMJ, and I want a suppressor, if I have the option to do that. So like if I look at the KN, that obviously can't have FMJ on it, but it does have the ability to have a suppressor on it. Now the reason why this is very important, this also applies the same strategy to your secondaries, specifically your starting pistol. But the reason why we want this is because you do have a chance of fighting a Blightfather, which means FMJ is going to be super helpful. The suppressor is not for the Blightfather, but the suppressor is actually for the increased chance of dropping a power-up, because that's going to be really helpful in doing that. Now, I recommend, which, if you have the attachments, this is the setup I recommend for the Strife Pistol. FMJ, FMJ2, extended mags, the stiletto knife, and, well, the optic is just because I can have that. Obviously, camos, death effects, all that stuff is completely up to you, but not necessary. This will pretty much make the easiest run that you can have if you are doing it solo. So I do apologize that it took me a second, to go through and show you that setup. But like I said, this is the most annoying of the spend a certain amount of time in a specific zone. I've done guides for like Classified and Ancient Evil and everything. They've all had a similar achievement, and they're relatively easy to do. You just have to spend 20 rounds in a certain area, or you're not allowed to turn on the power or something like that. Unfortunately, for this particular map, yeah, they really they went all out on making it difficult for us. So once you can skip the cutscene, go ahead and skip the cutscene. That's basically just a glorified loading screen. And now you're going to be thrown right into the starting area, which, spoiler alert, this map is basically Nuketown. Just a little different because the zombies are loose. And unfortunately, this achievement, you're really not going to be able to work on a lot of other achievements at the same time with it. So this starting area, as you can see, this is the checkpoint. Now, it's a little deceiving because it doesn't say Checkpoint Zulu. All it says is security checkpoint. And there's really no good spot whatsoever here. This is actually one of the very few areas in any zombies map that I have played where you literally don't have hardly any room to move, any spot to camp, or even a starting weapon wall by, which is why we are using what we are using at the moment. So basically, you just want to tear through the rounds as fast as you can. Points don't matter, money doesn't matter, because you can't leave this point. Now, this is where random teammates and bots become a problem, because bots will run up over that fence, and you can kind of go to the fence. You can go to right about here, kind of like the first bar on the fence. But if you go any higher up that little piece of fence that's knocked down, you'll be right on the edge of where it switches to the next area, and then that'll void the achievement. So you, and in the testing that I've done, the entire team must stay in this particular area. Now, like I said, there really isn't a spot to camp because of the way the zombies spawn. They climb over the fence back here, they climb over the barriers right here, and then of course they can climb over the barrier here, they can climb over the barrier here, they come down that fence, which obviously we can't get over right now, or we can walk over it, but we don't want to, because obviously we want the achievement. So you are stuck in this little area. Now, you do have corners. You can stand here. You're relatively safe, at least from 2 directions they can't hit you from. And this fire is simply a graphical effect. So the fire won't hurt you. That's another bonus. And you can kind of thin the horde a little bit by making them go in between these little vehicle gates here at the checkpoint. Other than that, it's just going to be patience and doing your best not to die. Now you can see that I'm going to be using my pistol basically the entire time. And, well, I got decently lucky. I got the KN from my talisman that allowed me to start the match with a assault rifle. I would have preferred a different weapon. I would have preferred a weapon with FMJ, but that is why I have FMJ and FMJ2 on my pistol. So it doesn't really matter what elixir we use right now. As you can see, the zombies are already starting to be like, you can't really move past them easily. It's kind of a good idea just to get into the habit of making sure you have as many points as possible, which if you've been playing the rest of the zombies maps, you're probably already in that habit. This way, once you successfully completed the full 20 rounds, that is all rounds 1 through 20, you won't get the achievement until round 20 ends. If you did it correctly, then you'll unlock that achievement and you can take all of your newfound points and run throughout the map doing whatever else you might wish to do or other achievements that you wish to work on. You should note that if you are doing this achievement, you will not be able to get the achievement for unlocking Pack-a-Punch by round 5. But most of the other achievements you could still technically do. You could still do the achievement for building all the ray guns. You could still do the achievement for killing the Jolt zombies on the roof. You can pretty much do all of the other achievements. You could do the Easter egg if you wanted to. This wouldn't necessarily be the most ideal setup for doing the Easter egg, but you could do that. Nukes, not exactly your friend, since we don't really need the points because there's nothing that we can buy before round 21. You can grab the nuke if you want. It does speed up the round a little bit, but mainly we are looking for those nukes on the higher rounds. So I'll be using the stiletto knife on this pistol to pretty much do the majority of my damage, all the way up through, say, about round, I don't know, probably around 10. You can pretty much safely use the knife. Now the good thing is, on dog rounds, you can kind of back yourself into a corner, and for the most part, they will all come directly in front of you, and you can kind of just place a couple Wraithfire grenades, melee. Dogs are definitely really annoying, but you can relatively easily handle them. Same thing you will want to work on and note for later rounds and higher rounds. If you do have a max ammo, make sure you kind of wait a little bit, at least as much as safely possible, and then make sure you used up your grenades so that you get as many grenades as you possibly can. It will make this easier on you. Also, make sure that you do kill as many of the zombies or all of the zombies that you possibly can inside the playable area. If you kill a zombie outside of the playable area, like if I was to shoot this guy and, you know, kill him, unfortunately, there's no chance of him dropping a power-up because I killed him outside of the playable area. So keep that in mind when you are doing this achievement. Now, like I was saying, I am very glad that I have this particular setup of 2 weapons. I have my pistol, which even though it's not an insanely high damage weapon, it will come in handy if I should be unlucky enough to face a Blightfather. So do keep that in mind, because I have FMJ 1 and FMJ 2 on this. But because we have the shields up, elixir, and I started the match with an AR due to the talisman, will actually be pretty good. This AR has a suppressor on it. It doesn't have FMJ, unfortunately, but the suppressor will give us a slightly higher chance of power-ups dropping. And that could be the difference between life and death. So other than that, this achievement definitely takes some skill, especially because once you hit around round 7, it's going to take more than 1 melee, even with the knife, to actually kill a zombie. We do not have access to Pack-a-Punch. We don't have any of the challenges like we had on Ancient Evil, so we can't use the Apollo challenge to get a Pack-a-Punched weapon. We can't even access the starting weapon, like we don't even have a starting wall buy weapon that we can use. If you start to get pinned, do not be afraid to go ahead and use your specialist weapon. We also do kind of want to get this specialist weapon upgraded a bit. You might get it upgraded to the point where you can go ahead and stab the spikes in the ground, but you probably won't get that far. Once again, kind of let the zombies come to you a bit. I happen to have a full power there, which is actually really nice, because it's going to start to get hairy. Luckily, though, we're almost at the halfway point. So we just get to kind of chill here in the desert.
Goes over, bus bucket.
I'm actually really surprised that this achievement has as low of a unlock rate as it does at the moment. Keep in mind, if you guys want, if you ever have any questions or you need another achievement guide, you can always join my Discord channel, ask a question there, or ask for the link for a guide if you want. I'll leave a link to the Discord channel in the description of the video. And you can also follow me on Twitter if you would like, at FNUSA57. So, shameless plug there.
Fight that never ends.
Now, it will take you a little bit of time to do this. Like I said, it's easier with more players, or it can be easier with bots. You'll kill the zombies faster. The problem with bots, if you hang out too close to this fence, a lot of times the bots will, quote, run out of ammo, and they'll just walk up and over that fence, and then they have a high chance of voiding the achievement for you. Some players have reported being able to unlock the achievement even with bots jumping over that section of the fence, because once you jump over that section of the fence, you can't get back. But I would not want to set up for it, risk my talismans, elixirs, all of that stuff, only to have the bots compromise and void the achievement.
Quit your yapping.
So we're doing pretty good, for the moment at least. I'll let these Wraithfire grenades do some of the work for me. Obviously on the low round counts, you're always going to get the power-ups that you want. It's the higher rounds that start to be the problem. And since not all the zombies spawn in the desert, some of them spawn actually inside the army base, and then they're very slow to walk down this fence. Since we can't run up there and go ahead and take care of them, yeah, it's a bit annoying. Since it is round 10 and I do have the shields up elixir, I would recommend going ahead and using one. Now you can see I have the shield, which is also an additional source of ammunition. So that's going to help us out. Not only is it going to give a bit of protection, which is never a bad thing to protect your backside, but it also gives us an offensive option should we run completely out of all ammunition, grenades, equipment, everything. Now, if you want to make this more difficult on yourself, you can go ahead and play on a higher difficulty. I would not recommend it, but that is something that you can do if you wish. Keeping in mind, if you have a custom controller or something like that, you might wish to modify your controller a little bit, put on a little higher sensitivity for specifically your thumbstick, since you'll be doing a lot of melee work if you use this strategy. I'm just using a default controller, so it's a little loud, but not much I can do about that right now. At least we're past the halfway point now.
Fetch me their soul. Doggone it!
So I'll go ahead and back myself into a corner again. I'm going to use my rifle this time. Quite simply because the dogs are annoying. Their attack speed is much faster than that of a regular zombie. And I was kind of half hoping to be able to get another power up to drop there. If you're good and a little bit on the lucky side, you should be able to do this and only consume one shields up elixir. Just make sure you're always kind of keeping an ear out.
Bring it on, freak bag!
The zombies can spawn in so many different spots that it's very easy to get a little distracted. Like if you're focusing on 3 or 4 zombies. I almost walked up the fence. That's another thing that can be very problematic. It's entirely possible to walk up the fence on accident. Luckily, I did not go all the way up the fence, but I almost did. I walked up to about like right there. If I would have walked any higher up on that fence, I would have voided the achievement. I'm also just using the rainbow death effect just for shits and giggles, but you don't have to use that if you want. It has no damage effect. It's just a graphics thing. Now our strategy is going to remain pretty much the same. Nothing's really changing here. There are more zombies, and the zombies are starting to get faster, so do keep that in mind. We're going to have to kind of work around, try and zigzag a bit. If you're getting overrun like that, like I was, go ahead and make sure that you be ready to switch to your DG5 Ragnarok weapon thing. If you have them charged, it's always a good idea to try and keep them charged. Do be careful, you don't want to jump too far up that fence. Once again, since that is a leap with that particular weapon, it is possible to be a little too far up on the fence and then actually leap past the invisible barrier, which basically changes the area that you're in. And we obviously don't want to do that. Also keep in mind that like standing with your back or side to one of these yellow barriers does not fully protect you from that side that the barrier's on. So this is when things get interesting. Round 14 on. Now we can no longer do 2-stab melee kills. So the pistol is becoming very weak at the moment. I kind of got lucky with that nuke, though, not going to lie. This is why I love the Wraith Fire grenades. You can stand in the fire, you won't hurt yourself. Now, you can do a decent amount of damage with the pistol, but I wouldn't, like, 100% rely on it. If you are shooting zombies, then it'll only take like the 2, maybe 3 melees. You can always put your back to the zombies and then go ahead and let the shield take that 1 or 2 hits. I wouldn't recommend relying on that, but it's a decent strategy if your health is low and you don't have like a Wraithfire grenade or something at the ready. Now we are going to do things just a little bit differently right now. I'm actually going to group up some zombies. And I'm going to kill more of them with this Wraith Fire. Now I'm going to let a good number of zombies spawn. This is where it starts to take a little bit more skill and just a wee bit of luck. Once I've got a good number of them on the map, hopefully the majority of the wave, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my special weapon. I'm going to start killing off as many of them as possible. Now, I'm killing them with the special weapon instead of melee and shooting them because I am running very, very low on ammo. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to use my ammo to replenish my special weapon. And of course we have a dog round, so now I don't actually have to worry too much about that.
2 legs, 4 legs, an enemy's an enemy. That's right, dog. You got both.
Like I said, this is the most annoying of the stay in a specific spot achievements, but it's not like it's undoable. A lot of people have been having more difficulty with this achievement than I would say it really is noted. Now this is probably going to be our last dog round. So this will be more than likely our last max ammo. Now we have to make it count. Keep in mind, every time you shoot a zombie, every time you kill a zombie, every time you melee a zombie, basically every time you do something to a zombie, you are going to accrue a little bit of charge on your specialist weapon. And basically this achievement is pretty specialist weapon and equipment heavy. So I'm going to throw that Wraithfire grenade at my feet, kind of stand there. I can always put my back to the zombies since I do have that shield. Obviously going for headshots is going to help out quite a bit. And this is where the AK comes in. So once again, while I have ammo remaining, I'm going to use my specialist weapon to eliminate the zombies. For anyone who doesn't know, if you put a partially used specialist weapon away, you will actually have a percentage of charge already on that specialist weapon. So if you're using it to get out of a sticky situation, you'll have like a quarter charge, half charge on it. So I'm going to group up some of the undead now.
You want to eat? Go find some trash! You ain't welcome here!
You want to take out as many zombies as possible with each equipment charge, because obviously we have a very limited number of them.
Get enough of you meatheads!
Since I had that wonderful full power that dropped, I'm actually getting fairly lucky on the power-ups that are dropping. That's why I said there is going to be a bit of luck to this. There's skill in playing, and then there's just luck in what you happen to get.
No, not you, sauerkraut.
Now the other thing that you can do, it will take longer, but if you're really in a pinch and you don't have anything off cooldown, you're almost out of ammo, your shield's almost broken, your shield is broken, then you can kind of just run around for a bit, and as you're running around you will continue to build charge on your equipment and your specialist weapon, so do keep that in mind.
Some assembly required.
Now simply because I don't want to fail, I'm gonna go ahead and use that extra shields up. So obviously the zombies are really quick now, and there's going to be a lot of them. It's going to make it very hard to kind of get in and around.
Promise I'm not trying to hog all the kills, just most.
I should also mention that that carpenter is going to refill our shield, which is very helpful.
Come get some. You won't be.
Now I just got to get some of those zombies built up. I'm going to use my second Wraithfire grenade there. While I have my back to the zombies, I'll pop my equipment, which is going to give me another 2 charges. You'll notice it's going to take about 4 melees now, even with that pistol bayonet.
That pain? It's my blade.
Alright, I have no ammo for my pistol. This is where if I was playing and I did not use the talisman that allowed me to start the game with some other additional weapon, I would have been in a very sticky situation. I would have absolutely had to use a max ammo.
This is my house.
Speak of the devil, and we got a max ammo. So you can go a little bit guns blazing at this point. You don't have to be as judicial. It's not a super conservative situation because obviously we're on the last round.
The shit list. Which one of you meat sacks wants to die first?
I'm not even shooting right now. I'm just letting my equipment pretty much do all the killing. Obviously you don't want to do something stupid and die, but there you go. Once you finish round 20, get round 21, you'll see the achievement pop up. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Checkpoint Zulu and Alpha Omega survived the first 20 rounds without leaving the security checkpoint. Done. Rare achievement, 15 gamer score. I just showed you how to do that solo, and it only took, with setup time, probably about 30 minutes to do. So if you're playing on a higher difficulty or you don't have the shields up elixir, then it might take you a little bit longer. But like you've seen, it's really not that bad to do, so don't fret about it. Just remember, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So I really do hope that the video helped you out. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to go ahead and leave a comment. I will do my best to answer all comments. I would like to know what you guys thought of my guide. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you please leave a like on it, share the video with a friend. That greatly helps me out here on YouTube with the searchability of videos. It also lets me know what content you guys are looking for and what content you guys really aren't looking for. Feel free, if you didn't like something on the video and you are going to dislike it, then at least let me know. Let me know why. Let me know what I can improve on. Until the next video, stay frosty.